God says, "Listen closely, my beloved soul, not with fear in your heart, but with peace." This message did not arrive to disturb you, it arrived to comfort you. There is a reason your spirit paused here, a reason your heart felt something before your mind could explain it. Heaven does not rush you, heaven gently calls you. And right now, that gentle call is finding its way into your life. Archangel Michael is near, not in desperation, not in alarm, but in deep concern filled with love. When heaven speaks through Michael, it is never to scare you, it is to steady you. You have been carrying more weight than you let the world see. You smiled when you were tired, you stayed quiet when your heart had questions, and you kept going even when answers felt far away. Heaven noticed every silent moment. You are not chosen because you are perfect. You are chosen because you endured. Because when life tried to harden you, you stayed soft. When disappointment tried to close your heart, you kept believing. This is why your soul recognized this message. Not everyone will feel it, but you did. That is not coincidence, that is alignment. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian, not to demand anything from you, but to remind you of something important: you are not alone in this season. What you are facing has not gone unseen. What you are hoping for has not been forgotten. Heaven does not work with noise, it works with timing. And sometimes, the quiet moments are where the greatest shifts begin. There is a miracle connected to you, not the kind that arrives with drama, but the kind that brings calm where chaos once lived. A change that feels natural, yet deeply meaningful. A movement in your life that does not force itself, but gently unfolds. This is how God often works, softly, patiently, lovingly. You may not see everything changing all at once, and that is okay. Miracles do not always arrive loudly. Some arrive like peace returning to your chest. Some arrive like clarity after confusion. Some arrive like strength where you thought you had none left. These are not small things. These are sacred things. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this clearly: nothing is being taken from you in this season. Something is being restored. Something within you is being renewed. You are stepping into a phase where you do not have to chase what is meant for you. What belongs to you will recognize you, just as this message did. If your heart has felt tired, rest. If your mind has felt heavy, breathe. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for the next step to reveal itself. Heaven is not rushing you, heaven is walking with you. Let this moment settle gently inside you. There is no pressure here, only presence. No fear, only reassurance. What is unfolding in your life will make sense in time, and when it does, you will realize that this quiet moment was part of the journey all along. God says, "Stay with this moment a little longer, my beloved, because what is happening inside you right now is more important than what is happening around you." The world may still look the same, people may still speak the same, situations may still feel unresolved, but something within you has already begun to shift. Heaven often starts its work quietly, in places no one else can see, deep in the soul where true change is born. Archangel Michael is not calling you because something bad is coming, but because something meaningful is forming. You have walked through seasons where you questioned your own worth, where you wondered if your prayers were too small or your faith too weak. But heaven never measured you by perfection. Heaven measured you by persistence. Every time you chose to keep going, even when your heart felt heavy, a record was being written in the spiritual realm. There were moments when you felt misunderstood, moments when people saw only the surface and never the depth of who you truly are. That pain stayed with you longer than you admitted. But understand this now, God never wastes pain. What tried to break you instead shaped you. What felt like silence was not abandonment, it was preparation. Some blessings require a heart that has learned humility, patience, and compassion before they can arrive safely. Archangel Michael watches over transitions, and you are standing in one now. Not a sudden leap, but a steady crossing. One chapter is closing gently, without force, without regret. Another is opening slowly, with wisdom instead of rush. You may not yet know all the details, and that is intentional. Faith grows best when it is not overwhelmed by information, but anchored in trust. God says, you do not need to prove yourself anymore. You do not need to explain your journey to those who were never meant to walk it with you. What is meant for you will not require exhaustion to obtain. It will meet you with peace. It will feel right, not because it is easy, but because it aligns with who you have become. There is a miracle connected to your obedience, not obedience to rules, but obedience to your inner knowing. Those moments when you listened to your conscience instead of your fear, when you chose kindness even when bitterness felt justified, when you waited instead of forcing outcomes. Those choices mattered more than you realize. Heaven responds to integrity more than noise. Archangel Michael wants you to release the belief that you are behind in life. You are not late. You are ripening. Some fruits are sweeter because they take longer to grow. Your story is unfolding at a pace that protects you from what you once begged for but were not yet ready to carry. Now, you are stronger, calmer, wiser. That is not accidental. There is also healing happening where you stopped looking. Old wounds you thought had become part of you are loosening their grip. You may notice your reactions changing, your thoughts softening, your heart opening again after a long time of being guarded. This is not weakness. This is restoration. Only a healed heart can receive what heaven is preparing to send. God says, stop replaying what you should have said, what you should have done, or who you should have been. Those chapters have already served their purpose. You learned. You grew. You survived. Now let them rest. The miracle ahead of you does not need your past to follow you into it. It only needs your willingness to move forward without carrying unnecessary weight. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that divine help does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like clarity replacing confusion. Sometimes it looks like peace entering places where anxiety once lived. Sometimes it looks like the right person appearing at the right time, not to rescue you, but to walk beside you as an equal. You are entering a season where your value will no longer need to be argued. It will be recognized. Where your efforts will no longer feel invisible. They will bear fruit. Where your heart will no longer feel like it has to beg for understanding. It will be met with respect. This is not wishful thinking. This is alignment. God says, trust the process even when you cannot trace it. Trust the timing even when it feels slow. Trust yourself again, because heaven trusts you. The reason this message reached you is not because you needed to be warned, but because you needed to be reminded of who you are becoming. Stay present. Stay grounded. Let faith feel calm instead of desperate. What is coming into your life will not arrive to shake you, but to steady you. And when it does, you will understand why things had to unfold exactly the way they did. God says, now that you have stayed this long, your spirit is ready to hear what your mind has been trying to understand for years. There are answers that cannot be explained logically, only felt deeply. This is one of those moments. You were never meant to rush through life collecting achievements just to prove your worth. Your journey has always been about becoming, about learning who you are beneath expectations, beneath pressure, beneath the noise of the world. Archangel Michael sees the weight you carried silently. Not everyone noticed how often you chose strength over surrender, how many times you showed up even when your heart felt tired, how many prayers you whispered without asking anyone else for help. Those moments shaped a character that heaven recognizes instantly. You were being trained in patience, not punished by delay. There were times when you felt disconnected, even from yourself. Times when joy felt distant and hope felt fragile. But understand this truth now, nothing about your life has been random. Even the confusion had purpose. Even the waiting had meaning. Some lessons can only be learned when answers are delayed long enough for wisdom to grow. God says, you are entering a season where clarity will replace questioning. Not all at once, not loudly, but steadily. You will begin to understand why certain doors never opened and why some people walked away without explanation. They were not meant to follow you into the next chapter. What is ahead of you requires emotional maturity, spiritual awareness, and inner balance. You now carry all three. Archangel Michael is close to you in moments of quiet reflection. When you sit alone and feel an unexplainable calm, that is not emptiness, that is presence. Heaven often speaks in peace, not urgency. When your heart slows down and your thoughts settle, you are more aligned than you realize. You have outgrown some versions of yourself, and that can feel uncomfortable. Growth often feels like loss before it feels like gain. Let go without guilt. You are not abandoning who you were, you are honoring who you are becoming. Every step forward requires releasing something behind you. God says, stop doubting your sensitivity. It is not weakness. It is discernment. You notice things others overlook. You feel energy before words are spoken. You sense shifts before they become visible. This awareness is part of your spiritual design. Protect it. Respect it. Do not allow the world to harden what heaven intentionally made gentle. There is also a healing happening around trust. You once trusted deeply and were hurt. That pain taught you caution, but it was never meant to teach you isolation. Slowly, carefully, you are learning how to open your heart without losing yourself. That balance will bring the right connections into your life, not draining ones, but nourishing ones. Archangel Michael reminds you that miracles are not always sudden events. Sometimes they are gradual transformations. A mindset changing. A habit breaking. A fear loosening its hold. A heart softening again after long protection. These quiet miracles prepare you for visible ones. God says, you do not need to chase what belongs to you. What is aligned will arrive without force. Pay attention to what feels peaceful, not just what looks impressive. Your soul already knows the direction, even when your mind hesitates. There is something important about your timing. If things had happened earlier, they would have overwhelmed you. If they happen later, you would question their purpose. Now is the balance. Now is the alignment. That is why this message reached you at this exact moment, not sooner, not later. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of transitions. You are moving from survival into stability, from questioning into trust, from endurance into expansion. This does not mean life will be perfect. It means you will be stronger, calmer, and more centered as you face it. God says, forgive yourself for the times you did not know better. Forgive yourself for staying too long, for leaving too soon, for doubting your instincts. You did the best you could with the understanding you had at the time. Growth changes perspective, not value. You are becoming someone who no longer reacts impulsively, but responds thoughtfully. Someone who listens more deeply. Someone who chooses peace over proving a point. This maturity will attract opportunities, relationships, and blessings that match your evolution. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that heaven is not testing you anymore. You have already passed through the refining season. What comes next is not about endurance, but about experience. Enjoyment. Fulfillment. Purpose lived, not just imagined. God says, trust the stillness. Trust the pauses. Trust the moments when nothing seems to be happening. Seeds grow underground long before they break the surface. Your life is no different. What is forming beneath the surface will soon become visible. Stay open. Stay humble. Stay aware. You are not waiting for a miracle anymore. You are walking toward the moment where you realize the miracle has been unfolding within you all along. God says, if you are still here listening, then understand this with complete clarity. This message did not reach you because you were curious, it reached you because your spirit was ready. Not everyone makes it this far. Many people turn away when truth begins to touch places they have kept hidden for years. But you stayed. That itself tells heaven something powerful about you. Archangel Michael has been watching the way you carry yourself through life, especially during moments when no one is clapping for you, when no one is encouraging you, when no one truly understands what you are holding inside. You learned how to stand without being supported, how to believe without being reassured, how to move forward even when answers felt delayed. That level of inner strength is not common. It is formed through experience, not comfort. God says, there were moments you almost gave up, not loudly, but quietly. Moments when you smiled on the outside while questioning everything on the inside. Moments when you wondered if your faith even mattered anymore. But every time you felt like letting go, something inside you chose to stay. That something was not willpower alone. It was divine protection keeping you anchored when storms tried to pull you away. Archangel Michael wants you to know that heaven never forgot those moments. Nothing went unnoticed. The nights you lay awake thinking, the days you felt misunderstood, the times you chose silence instead of conflict, growth instead of revenge. All of it shaped the person you are becoming now. And this version of you is ready for what is next. God says, stop measuring your life by what has not happened yet. Your journey is not behind schedule. It is unfolding at the exact pace required for your purpose. Some blessings arrive early and are wasted. Others arrive late and are cherished. Yours are arriving at the moment you are finally able to hold them with wisdom, not desperation. Archangel Michael stands as a witness to a shift happening within you. You are no longer chasing validation. You are no longer begging for understanding. You are no longer trying to prove your worth to people who never saw your value. This inner shift is the doorway. Everything changes once you stop seeking externally what was always meant to be rooted internally. God says, the miracle you are waiting for is not coming to rescue you, it is coming to meet you. Where you now stand. Stronger. Wiser. More aware. The reason it felt delayed is because you were being prepared to recognize it, not miss it, not mishandle it, not doubt it when it arrives. There is also something being healed around your heart. You learned to protect yourself because you had to. But protection is not meant to become a prison. Slowly, gently, you are learning how to trust again without losing discernment. You are learning how to love without self-abandonment. This balance is rare, and it will attract connections that feel safe, steady, and real. Archangel Michael says, do not fear change anymore. The change coming is not chaotic, it is aligned. It will not uproot you, it will ground you. It will not confuse you, it will clarify you. It will not drain you, it will restore you. You are not stepping into uncertainty, you are stepping into understanding. God says, you will soon look back at this season and realize it was the turning point. Not because everything suddenly became easy, but because everything finally made sense. The pressure lifted not because problems disappeared, but because your perspective shifted. You stopped asking, why me, and started understanding, this is shaping me. Archangel Michael wants you to release the belief that you have to struggle to deserve good things. Peace is not a reward you earn after suffering, it is a state you are allowed to live in. Joy is not something you have to justify. Rest is not weakness. Receiving is not selfish. You are allowed to experience life without constantly bracing for impact. God says, what is coming into your life will feel natural, not forced. It will not require you to shrink, rush, or compromise your values. It will align with who you have become, not who you used to be. That is how you will know it is from heaven. It will bring calm, not confusion. Confirmation, not anxiety. Archangel Michael stands with confidence because this chapter is not fragile. It is stable. It is built on everything you survived and learned. Nothing can undo what has been established within you now. You are no longer easily shaken. You are no longer easily lost. You know yourself more deeply than ever before. God says, let go of the last traces of doubt. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for what is unfolding next. Trust that timing. Trust that alignment. Trust that presence you feel when you sit quietly and breathe. And now, as this message reaches its end, understand this clearly. Archangel Michael is not begging you because something bad will happen if you ignore this. He is urging you because something meaningful happens when you choose awareness over distraction. When you choose reflection over scrolling. When you choose depth over noise. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of integration. Take what you felt. Take what resonated. Take what stirred something inside you. Let it guide your next steps quietly, confidently, without announcement. And if this message reached you, moved you, or gave you clarity in even one moment, then do this now. Why? If this message spoke to your heart, show your agreement by liking this video. Share it with someone who needs peace, not fear. Leave a comment describing what you felt while listening. And subscribe, so you don't miss messages meant to guide you deeper, not rush you forward. You were not meant to hear this by accident. And you will not walk forward alone.